as one of the older denominations and the more organized and orderly. Mark, a lot of these problems are being pegged on finances and wealth and all that. The Nyeri Catholic Archbishop Anthony Muheria has suggested or proposed that every religious leader in this country should be audited. From what you have seen, is that a fair place to start?
Let me first broadly situate this conversation, because when we think the problem is a Christendom problem, we forget that the issue is a human problem. Hindus have had many cults, including Hare Krishna, famous in the 70s and 80s. Islam has had extremists and have had their issues. We have Buddhist extremists in many countries of fighting and killing people. This is an issue of the human condition as it ascertains to faith. It is not an issue of Christians. That's number one. Now, when we understand it that way, we've got to then domicile it within a nation and ask ourselves, what can we do to avoid extremism? Because you see, the term cult is without definition. So for example, if someone starts a church that worships the cross of Jesus, are they still Christian or not? That is not it's a cultic move. It is not an extremist move. What is an extremist move? We need to define for ourselves what are the extremes of religion, not of Christianity, because if we pigeon ourselves into the question of Christianity, we will lose the point. The issue, again, is not academic, because we know the Catholic Church does not have a single father who's not trained. Yet the Catholic Church has the biggest crisis of young boy issues, let me not mention that on TV, than any other church. So its education does not circumcise you from immorality. Let's just be clear. So when you deal with those things, you've got to come to the reality and define what are the boundaries. The boundaries should be that if someone is giving off of their property to the extent where it's detrimental to their financial health, that should be an extreme position. If someone is involved in an activity that puts themselves and their children in danger by reason of a religious dedication, then that is something wrong. That is the only thing that I can say the government can say in terms of law that makes sense. So you protect people in terms of their property and the economy, and in terms of their lives and that of their children. Let us remember Jim Jones. Jim Jones members poisoned their children, knowing because they're looking to be saved from a doomsday scenario. We need to do the same thing in this country and realize that we can only stop extremism. We cannot stop religious practice. So fasting, what is the line? If someone is fasting, Prof here is fasting to the extent where he cannot move, walk, or talk, then the state can say this is an extreme behavior. The state can step in to save someone's life. But the act of fasting itself, the act of giving itself, or the act of lifting your hands to Jah Rastafari for 10 years, whatever it is you want, cannot be stopped by act of the law.